Hello everyone, this is Square Triangle Mouse, and today we are going to take a look at the new city-states in Civilization 6, the ones that come with the first part of the New Frontier expansion pack. So we have new city-states of every type, one of each, one cultural, one industrial, one militaristic, one religious, one scientific, and one trade city-state. So the new one here in the cultural section is Caguana. Caguana, when we are suzerain, it let us build the Beatty improvements. By the way, this was a site in the Caribbean, so we have a couple of new Native American city-states. Even if they are not very important nowadays, they were back in the day, so I find it interesting. In any case, we have here with the Beatty improvement, what we get is +1 culture for every adjacent bonus resource and entertainment complex. Now, I pretty much never build too many entertainment complexes, so this is not so important, but +1 culture for every adjacent bonus resource can be nice. You can probably in a few cities put it next to 2 bonus resources, get +3 in total here, which gets increased when exploration is discovered, so that's also nice, and provides some additional tourism when researching flight. The only thing you cannot do is building it adjacent to another Beatty, which is a normal thing with unique improvements. A lot of them cannot be adjacent to another similar one. So it's not too bad, it's also not too great. The problem with getting unique improvements is that if you want to use the suzerain bonus, you need to use or to spend builder charges, so that requires some additional investment, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of the city-states that give us unique improvements. That being said, this one is not too bad. If you're going for cultural victory, I think it's okay. I will give it a pass for sure. In the industrial section, we have Singapore. Singapore, I really like what they give you. +2 production for each foreign civilization they have a trade route to. Okay, so if you have a city, let's say you have a city that can get foreign trade routes to 3 different civilizations because it's close to the border, you would end up getting +6 production in that city. 3 trade routes is something you can usually get fairly early in the game. So let's say you are building, I don't know, some medieval wonder or something like that, you can give your city +6 production with this. So it's pretty nice. I like it. It's not like super overpowered like some people were saying, but it's nice. It's a nice bonus. And overall, I think Singapore is a city-state that, if I see it in the early game especially, and I see that I have borders with more than one civilization, I will probably try to go for it. I would say, I don't know, in the USA system this would be like a B for me, or maybe a B-, but still a fairly good city-state. I will leave Lahore, I don't know, Lahore, I don't know. I don't. Sorry if there are Indian people or Pakistani people watching this. I don't know how to pronounce this city, but I will leave it for later anyway because we need to talk about the Nihang unit, and it's a very, very special unit, the one they give us. So we're going to leave this for later. For now, we're going to skip straight to the Vatican City, and this one is so underwhelming. In my opinion, this is probably the worst one of the new ones, maybe the worst one. The scientific one is also not so great, but this one is really, really bad. When we activate a great person, they spread 400 religious pressure of your founded or majority religion to cities within 10 tiles. So obviously this is only useful if you're going for a religious victory, which is already very, very limiting because it's not a very popular victory type among players. But also, when you're going for a religious victory, you're not going to be getting a lot of great people. So in my last religious victory, which is one that I uploaded to this channel, you can see it, the religious victory with Tamar. I got a lot of coastal cities, so I built a lot of harbors apart from my holy sites, of course. So I ended up having maybe three or four great admirals. And so when I could go and use them next to some coastal city-states of the enemy to get 400 religious pressure, but that is not going to be a game changer compared to if we consider all of the religious fights that you're having, and every time you kill an enemy apostle you spread 250 of yours and you remove 250 of their religious pressure. This, compared to that, this is not so amazing. And especially, as I said, you will end up having it maybe 3 times a game, 4 tops, because the district you build the most on a religious victory is a holy site, and you get 1 great prophet and that's it. You're not going to be getting a lot of great people of other types. So this is, I don't know, very underwhelming. Also, if you get, let's say, great merchants or great scientists, you're going to be using them in your cities. So the religious spread is not going to affect the enemy cities because they're not going to be within 10 tiles, and it's not going to be relevant at all to your game. So very, very underwhelming, Vatican City. I don't like it at all. I will not put a lot of effort into it pretty much ever. So the religious city-state is Taruga. So I read about this here, and apparently this is an archaeological site in Nigeria, and we don't know the actual name of this city. We don't know what it was back in the day. We don't know the actual name of the civilization that lived here back then, and I find it very interesting. I might want to read more about this, to be honest. It sounds really, really cool. In any case, it is a scientific city-state, and it gives us +5 science in all cities for each different improved strategic resource they have. So this is not, maybe this is just slightly better than Vatican City, because in one city you're going to be having maybe 1, maybe 2 strategic resources tops in the same city. If you have 2 strategic resources, then it's a +10%, I guess, but only on that specific city. So you won't end up getting a lot of science points. Early in the game this could be a bit more, but it's very rare that you end up getting horses and iron in the same city. So early in the game this is probably going to be only 5%, not 10. So it's a few scientific points extra, so if you're going for a scientific victory it's not bad to have them, but it's not a game changer or anything like that. So I'm not very impressed by Taruga. I would not make it a priority. And in the trade ones we have Hunza. So Hunza is another Native American city. It belonged to the Muisca people. Apparently it was a very rich city, and they spoke the Chibcha language, and the Chibcha were a very relevant culture in the north of South America. So I'm happy that they bring at least one city related to that culture. And what do we get here in the game? Well, we get our trade routes generate +1 gold for every 5 tiles they travel. I like this. It's a nice bonus. As I said, it's not super overpowered like Singapore. Basically, it's just like Singapore. It's not super overpowered. That's what I meant. None of them are super overpowered, but both Singapore and Hunza give you nice trade routes, and I like that. 5 tiles you're going to be traveling every time. 10 tiles almost every time. So worst case scenario, this gives you +2 gold on a trade route, but you are going to be getting a bunch of trade routes that travel 15 tiles. So let's say early in the game you manage to get Hunza. You're lucky enough to get it early in the game, and you have, let's say, 3 trade routes, and you send those trade routes, all 3 of them, you make it so that they travel 15 tiles. Well, that is 3 extra gold for each one of them, so 9 extra gold, which at the point in the game in which we only have 3 trade routes, 9 gold per turn is actually fairly decent. So I like Hunza. It will give us some relevant amount of gold, not a game changer, not a super overpowered city state or anything like that, but it's nice. So yeah, basically I think it would be similar to Singapore, one that I would be interested in, even if it's not going to be my #1 priority in the game. And finally, we go back to the militaristic part and we talk about Lahore or Lahori. I don't know how to pronounce this. So Lahore, when we are suzerain, we can train the Nihang unit. And the Nihang unit, guys, this is interesting. So we can only get it with faith. So we are going to need a little bit of faith. If we see Lahore, I guess, if I'm going for a domination game and I see this city-state, I will probably try to go for it immediately and then build 1 or 2 holy sites, because this is very, very interesting. So you don't need a lot of faith to buy it, only 200. So throughout the game, you're going to end up having 3, 4, maybe 5 of them by the mid game or the mid late game, and they're very strong. Even if you have like 2 of them early on, those 2 are going to be wow. They're going to be I don't want to say game breaking, but they're going to be so relevant. Combat strength is increased with barracks, armory, and military academy. And apparently, well, these were, by the way, some Sikh religious warriors from the 17th to 19th century in northern India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And I will maybe read more because they're so strong that I want to know more about them later on. So you get 15 more for each building, okay? The barracks, the armory, and the military academy. Now, the armory, they're not going to be coming too late. If you're going for domination, you're going to get your first armory more or less early in the game. By mid-game, you're going to have at least 1 armory. So these guys, they start with 25, then it's 14 when you get the barracks. 40, sorry, not 14. 40 when you get the barracks, and then 55 with the armory, and that's already pretty strong. 55 strength is pretty nice. But then you get the promotions, and the promotions, oh boy, the promotions are nice. So let's go here and let's go to the Nihang section. Okay, here we are. So the first option that you have is between the Janhi Mohe, between the Teg and the Treholmuch. So the left side gives you the Teg promotion, +7 combat strength when flanked, which is huge. +7 strength when flanked, which is going to be almost every time. If you're attacking, your units are always going to be flanked. So you will always get this +7, unless you're really bad at moving your units, which you shouldn't be. So if you have, let's say, 55 with the armory, right? +7, that's already 62 every time the unit is flanked. And it's only the first promotion. So it's really strong at this point. The other option is this one, which you are never going to get. When defeating an enemy unit, get faith equal to 50% of that unit's combat strength. It's not terrible because more faith means having more of these units. But this one is just so good that you will want to get it all the time. And then if we go on the left side of the promotion tree, the second promotion is going to be Janji Mohe, which is +1 movement, which is also very good. So your second promotion on the same line is also going to be strong. On the right side, the second promotion is this, no combat penalty when damaged, which is not so great because you will be healing all the time, obviously, if you play well. But the second promotion on the side that you are actually going for, which is the left one, is actually also really good. So you end up having 2 excellent promotions, and then later on you get the final promotion, the third one, which is Janjikara, and this is +10 combat strength while suzerain of Lahore. So you start getting this unit because we are already suzerain of Lahore, and obviously you want to keep going. You want to keep being suzerain of this city-state if you're going for domination, because you want to keep building the Nihang. And holy crap, +10. So let's review this. Okay, let's say you only have the armory. I'm not talking about military academy yet, which comes a bit later in the game. You have the armory. That's already 55. +10, 65. +7 when flanked, which is going to be all the time, 72. That is a lot of strength. Like, a lot. That is a very strong unit, which will come, in the mid game or so. I mean, you need to promote them, so of course you need to start getting them pretty early. If you see Lahore and you are going for domination, you will want to be suzerain of that city-state immediately and start generating strength immediately, so you can get your first Nihang very early in the game. send him against barbarians or against anything you can get in your way, and promote that guy like crazy, because this final promotion is huge. It's very, very good. So yeah, I mean, if you're not going for domination, of course, none of this is going to be so relevant to you. But even for like one war of conquest in the early game, let's say, if you have a close neighbor and you want to use their cities to get to 12 cities or something like that, and win the game with 12 cities, it's still good. But if you're going for domination, it's huge. It's amazing. So imagine playing with Simon Bolivar, who is already super overpowered in domination, although I think he's going to be nerfed very soon because he's just too strong. But imagine playing with this guy and then seeing that the first city state that you meet in the game is Lahore. That is just, I mean, you're going to be laughing looking at the screen because it's just too much. It's so big. So yeah, very interesting, this city-state, this militaristic city-state, very interesting for domination games. I would make it the #1 priority for sure if I find it early in the game when going for domination. It's going to be a huge shame though if you find it very, very late in the game. Like if it's the last city-state you find in the game, that's going to be a shame because you want it early. You want it early to get these amazing promotions. And you are going to be going for barracks and armory very, very quick because you really want this guy with 55% base strength, 55 points of base strength, and then going for these lovely promotions in the left side of the promotion tree. So yeah, Lahore, wow, I'm impressed with this one. So that's all for the new city-states. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as usual, please hit the like button and subscribe. This is a small channel. I could really use some new subscribers. And we're going to be uploading more gameplay with the new expansion. We are finally going to upload the full game of Apocalypse mode. And I'm going to show you guys some nice things you can do with it. I finally found what is the main advantage of the Apocalypse mode, and we're going to be talking about that on our next video series. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for watching.